You know him as the creature who crawls through shadows, whispering to his precious. But Gollum is far more than a monster. His story began long before Frodo, before Bilbo, even before the War of the Ring. Today, we uncover what the movies left out. The forgotten past of Smeagol, the murder that changed Middle-earth, and the heartbreaking truth about the creature we call Gollum. Smeagol was born around the year 2430 of the Third Age. When he finally died, in the fires of Mount Doom in 3019, he was nearly 590 years old. Smeagol wasn't born evil. He was once a curious, cheerful hobbit-like creature named Smeagol. He belonged to a quiet riverfolk community near the Gladden Fields. They lived simple lives, fishing, telling stories, and celebrating birthdays. And it was on Smeagol's birthday that everything changed. While fishing with his cousin Deagol, something glittered in the riverbed. A golden ring. Deagol pulled it from the water. Smeagol felt an unnatural desire. And that desire led him to commit Middle-earth's first murder for the ring. After killing Deagol, Smeagol tried to keep the ring a secret. But something was already happening inside him. He became paranoid, possessive, twisted. His family turned against him, and he was cast out. He fled into the mountains, hiding from the sun, muttering to himself. And there, far from light, the ring took full hold of him. What's truly chilling is this. Smeagol may have been the very first mortal in all of Middle-earth to kill for the ring. The elves, the dwarves, the wise, none had ever spilled blood for it. But the moment Smeagol saw it, something ancient and evil awakened in him. The ring didn't just corrupt him over time, it triggered the murder instantly, as if it had been waiting. In that moment, a hobbit became a killer, and the One Ring tasted blood. From there, Smeagol stopped being Smeagol. He became Gollum. The name came from the horrible swallowing sound he made in his throat. Gollum, Gollum, a noise echoing from a shattered soul. Over centuries, the ring eroded his body and spirit, feeding his addiction, whispering in the dark, shaping a new creature from the bones of a forgotten hobbit. If you liked this video, smash the like button. If you loved it, press the precious subscribe. Deep in the tunnels beneath the misty mountains, Gollum survived in complete darkness, hunting goblins, eating raw fish, talking only to his precious. It was there, centuries later, that he met a certain burglar, Bilbo Baggins. The riddles in the dark game would decide both their fates. Gollum lost the ring, his only comfort, and he would never stop hunting for it again. What the films touch on, but the books make crystal clear, is this. Gollum wasn't one person anymore. His mind had split. One voice, high and pleading, called himself Smeagol. The other, cold and growling, answered as Gollum. He argued with himself. He used we instead of I. One side still remembered the light, the river, the sun on his face. The other side remembered only hunger, darkness, and betrayal. Tolkien described his speech patterns carefully, changing grammar, tone, and even rhythm depending on which part was speaking. Gollum wasn't just corrupted. He was at war with himself, every moment, every breath, a battle between memory and madness. After losing the ring, Gollum left the mountains to search for it. His journey took him through dangerous lands, across marshes and wastelands, until he was captured. Not by goblins, not by elves, but by Sauron himself. In the dark fortress of Barad-dûr, Gollum was tortured for answers. He screamed. He begged. He broke. And finally, he spoke. 2 words. Shire. Baggins. That whisper would ignite a war that had been waiting to return. But what's even more chilling is what came next. Gollum was allowed to escape. Many believe Sauron released him intentionally, hoping that the twisted creature would lead him to the ring again. Gollum was no longer just a victim. He was now a living tracker, an unwilling spy, set loose across Middle-earth. And soon, he picked up the scent again. The ring was moving. The ring was coming back. And Gollum followed. He tracked it with unnatural skill, through forests, rivers, even over the misty mountains again. But he wasn't the only one hunting. Aragorn, the ranger known as Strider, was also searching for Gollum. Not out of vengeance, but because Gandalf feared what secrets the creature might hold. For years, Aragorn scoured Middle-earth, through dead marshes, across the Anduin, into the wildest corners of the land. He finally caught Gollum near the dead marshes. And instead of killing him, Aragorn brought him to the elves of Mirkwood, to be questioned and watched. But Gollum would not stay caged for long. He escaped again, driven by a hunger nothing could satisfy. That's when Frodo and Sam found him. Frodo saw what others didn't. A broken creature, one who could still be saved. He showed mercy. Gollum began to change. Smeagol surfaced. For a brief moment, he tasted kindness. But the ring's grip was too strong. After a twisted betrayal involving Shelob the spider, Gollum returned to his darker self. Yet, what no one around Frodo could fully see was that he was changing too. The longer Frodo carried the ring, the more he resembled Gollum. He began to speak less, trust less. His eyes grew distant. He even called the ring precious. In a heartbreaking twist of fate, Frodo, who had once pitted Gollum, was walking the same path. Gandalf had warned this could happen, because the ring doesn't just corrupt, it consumes. Slowly, gently, until your will is no longer your own. Gollum was what Frodo could become, and Frodo knew it. On Mount Doom, it wasn't willpower that saved him. It wasn't even choice. Frodo failed. Just as Gollum had, Frodo claimed the ring for himself. And in that moment, it was Gollum, broken and mad, who completed the quest. He leapt upon Frodo, bit off his finger, ring and all. And then, in blind ecstasy, he danced. The ring was his again. What most don't know is this. This wasn't Gollum's first time inside Mount Doom. Long before Frodo, Gollum had already discovered the secret stairs, the tunnels, even entered the crack of Doom itself. He had stood above the fire. And yet, he never destroyed it. He couldn't. The ring had too strong a hold on him. It's terrifying to realize. Gollum had a chance to end it all, centuries earlier. But he chose to keep it. Now, fate gave him no choice. Laughing, crying, clutching his precious one final time, he lost his balance and fell into the fire. Gollum perished. But in death, he did what Frodo could not. He destroyed the ring. Tolkien once wrote that even the smallest creature can change the course of the future. Gollum proved that. His life was a tragedy, driven by addiction, loneliness, and despair. Yet he had a purpose. And not just at the end. Gandalf knew it. He told Frodo early on. Even Gollum may have something yet to do. Elrond knew it too. The wisest of the elves understood that Gollum's part in the story was not yet finished. That's why Gandalf refused to condemn him. Why Frodo spared him. Because in Middle-earth, mercy has power. Frodo himself would later say. But for him, Sam, I could not have destroyed the ring. The quest would have been in vain. Gollum was a warning, but also a reflection of Frodo's own struggle. of how close any of us might come to darkness, and how even the lost may serve the light. Gollum wasn't just a villain. He was a soul torn in half, a victim of power greater than himself. His story reminds us of the power of pity and the danger of obsession. If you've made it this far, you clearly question deeper than most. Subscribe for more journeys through Tolkien's world. And remember Frodo's lesson.
Even Gollum had a role to play, and so do you.